ladies and gentlemen, to the greatest podcast on earth. Step right up and experience the magnificence that is the Two Ring Circus podcast. You'll gasp, you'll laugh, and you'll be amazed at what comes next. Don't worry about the smell. It's just the stars of our show, Tom Italiano.
Woof.
And Matt Bradshaw.
Hello. Hi, Matt.
G'day, mate.
How you going?
Ah, Sprocket Cast 2
Where are we?
on location 3. Is that right?
Could be. Oh, you silly dog. He's going to break everything today.
Yeah, he is. Possibly the internet, because he's so cute.
It's lovely.
Little bastard.
It's lovely.
Here we are.
He's comfortable.
On location halfway between the city and your house.
Yeah, almost,
in lovely Sanctuary Lakes, Point Cook.
It's we're in on a canal, I believe.
We are.
Yeah.
Which, that word always makes me laugh.
Why is that?
Well, because it looks like anal
Canal.
to see.
No doubt. I thought you'd say something like that. And it's
Sure, I like your
beautiful.
tone. Yeah, it is.
Beautiful sunny day.
I love it. There's aeroplanes everywhere we go these days.
Yeah, well, particularly the sky.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Our
yeah,
last one was...
Yeah, well done. Yeah, well remembered.
Well done.
It
Thanks,
was only
man.
a week ago.
Yeah, that's right. It was a week ago.
Got a lot happened in a week.
Tell me what... Oh, I was going to... What's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on?
What's happening? And that was the first draft. What's happening? What you do this week?
Marvin Lame.
So
what happened in your week?
I went to Sydney.
Oh, you did too?
Yeah, the city.
What?
The city of Sydney.
Okay.
Yes.
Hang on, like actually the city?
No. I flew over it and then landed. I mean, I didn't fly. Someone else flew. Speaking of planes. Yeah. But I only went overnight. It was very exciting.
Oh, is that all you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where in Sydney?
St Ives.
I've been there.
It's very nice.
Yeah, it is.
It's lovely.
It's expensive.
Well, luckily I didn't have to.
Oh, gosh.
I didn't have to buy a house there. I just stayed overnight at someone else's house.
Have you got a grip on that? That dog looks like he's about to launch.
What, do you think he's found something to eat?
Yeah, well, look at him.
Yeah. He's protecting us.
No, he's doing the Humphrey B. Bear face as well.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
look.
he is, yeah. Yeah, you guys can't see it. You just see his ass.
Yeah, okay. So Sydney for the night? Visiting friends?
Yeah. My friends Shelley and Rob and their kids.
Nice.
And also a friend from school, Megan, just happens to live across the road.
What?
When I was there a year ago, I walked out and I heard Shelley talking to someone in the carport, and I walked outside and went, "Oh, hi," and she's like, "Tom." I went, "It's like I haven't seen her for 20
You're
years."
joking.
Yeah, just lives across the road from a friend of mine who I know from living in Geelong. Yeah,
That is bizarre.
it is thoroughly.
There were friends of...
What is bizarre is I know 2 people who can afford to live in St Ives. That's bizarre.
There were new friends of mine I met up in Airlie Beach last week who are holidaying from Austria. Happened to be in Melbourne.
Where we are now.
Happened to be in Melbourne this week, and came to my solo gig on Thursday and our gig on Sunday.
Yeah.
They said to me, we saw... so they met all of us in the raft band up in Queensland.
Yeah.
And they said, we saw Geordie on Friday. Oh, they actually said we caught up with Geordie on Friday. Yeah, right. Said, yeah, we were coming out of the Melbourne Aquarium and he was coming out of a building across the road. So they didn't organise to catch up with him. They just in the city of Melbourne, this guy they met once before, just...
Small
The
world,
world's
man.
a bizarre place, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. For all kinds of reasons.
Oh.
What's... in the course of this podcast, I'm curious to see whether Sprocket realises there's a tennis ball in the canal over there, and if he sees it...
Canal.
Yes. If he sees it, my arm will likely get ripped out of it.
That's your bad shoulder.
Well, they're both bad at the moment.
Oh, dude.
No.
Do you mean like Michael Jackson dad? Or like actually bad?
No, like actually. Oh no, but I've been exercising a little bit, so they're not as bad as they were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or they're
Or as
poor.
poor as they were.
Poor. Nah.
Yeah. What's been happening with you?
I've been sick.
You?
Dude, it's been 2 months. And I'm sure it's the same illness that just I don't quite get better from, but then just comes back.
You're not resting enough?
Because I'm not resting enough. Almost certainly that's what it is. Yeah. There are probably some who would say it's because I drink too much as well, but you very kindly haven't said that yet.
Well, I think it's implicit in not resting. I wasn't implying it, but when one would rest, one would assume they're not also partaking.
So anyway,
do you drink too much or too often? I mean, I know we've been through this before, but now it's 3 months down the track. It might have changed.
no, generally just too often, I think.
Yeah.
And too much. No, I don't really drink that much. I mean, obviously, Airlie Beach is a separate experiment in just how much one human body can take.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I was there for 3 days. There's no way I could have stayed for 4.
Yeah, it was. As I said this to you, a mutual friend of ours messaged me one morning and said, "So, how was last night?" And I said, "Yeah, look, it wasn't as big as the first night. We had a bit of a quiet one last night because some of the band's gone away. So, I had like 3 pints and. Harvey, how many shots did we have? 10. Okay, good.
Quite a night. Yeah.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah.
So, but no hangovers. Not one single day did I have a hangover. So, yeah. So I guess I wasn't trying hard enough.
No,
I don't know. The common? You be careful of your thumb.
I know. I was just grabbing it with my other hand. I very rarely have ever had one hangover.
Really?
But I don't. I've never. That's not true. I've rarely been sick from drinking.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I was once this year.
Really?
Yeah, when I was in New Zealand with my dad and my brother.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
careful. I thought he was going to jump and
He might.
take you with him.
Hey, come out here.
Are they your cycling pants?
No. They're my travel pants.
Good talk.
They're my travel pants.
Okay.
Yeah,
That must have been what I
because you
meant.
can zip them off.
Yeah, and they're like,
very practical
they're
and
not,
functional.
Do I mean waterproof? I don't mean waterproof, do I?
You mean water resistant?
Is that what I mean?
I don't know.
I don't know. Or are they like water absorbent but dry out really quickly?
They're Kathmandu.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're that brand that
Yes.
every 3 weeks has a 50% off sale. So
Do they?
every 3 weeks, the things are priced at what they actually should cost.
One of those. Stores.
One of those stores. Yeah.
So you said a lot of stuff happens in a week. What else happened? Tell me some other stories.
I don't. Black Friday, Cyber Monday happens. Did
Yeah.
you get into that?
No.
No?
Not even
I do.
a little
I
bit.
get totally sucked in.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is it a thing?
Yeah, well, it's an internet thing, and every year, I spend about $500 on guitar courses. That will profess to teach you how to be a better guitar player
Right.
by people who are good guitar players.
Yeah.
Yeah, like crazy 50% off codes, and then I buy these things.
Why don't you do that?
Because I clearly can't play anything like the guys that I buy the courses off.
don't believe
and then
that's
I spend
true.
a year trying to learn about 5% of what I buy, and then get discouraged about a week into it, and then forget about it. So like by next year, I buy a whole bunch of other courses to see if they will help me play better. And I'm not even joking. Oh, don't break it.
Oh, trouble?
No, it's all right.
Do you... Come on. Do you think you're a good guitarist?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I can play guitar okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a competent player. Yeah. What I mean by that is, when you are at a certain level at certain things, you're aware of your ability and acutely aware of other people's abilities. So I think, of course, speaking for myself, I think I'm probably pretty accurately aware of where I stand and what my strengths and weaknesses are.
Sure.
A lot of people kind of don't. A lot of people are in a bit of a deluded world about, where they are and what they can play.
I don't know how that happens.
Um,
Like, I'm very aware of my strengths and limitations. So I feel like I'm acutely aware of where I sit in the hierarchy of singers.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one because the singers thing as well. Yeah, for me, my singing ability is really different to my.
I think you're a stupidly good guitarist.
Thank you.
You are one of those guys that when people ask me who I play with and I mention your name and they haven't necessarily heard of you, I just say, oh, like fucking virtuoso guitarist. You've got to hear this guy play. And that's not about you being my mate. That's my
nice.
genuine estimation of where you sit as a player, which is why I get surprised when you say things like you're going to buy guitar courses, which is fine because you should always strive to become better. I mean, I stopped. I don't care anymore.
Well,
but
I think I'd buy the guitar courses. Like I don't have lessons anymore, and I would like to, but I find that hard to organise. I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of you come over here with me and stay away from the computer. I feel like the guitar course thing. I approach it a little bit like books. Like, you know, when you go, well, you know, I've read the BFG. I don't need to read any more books. That's a good book. I know how to read. Like, that proves it.
Sure.
I think there can be a bit of a tendency amongst
don't do that.
You know, rock and pop guitar player type guys to kind of go, well, I know how to do that, you know, and you know, that's it. I don't need to know anything else.
That's definitely how I approach guitar. I haven't.
But you see yourself as a singer who plays guitar, don't you?
Absolutely.
I see myself as a guitar player who sings.
Yeah. Which is why I think we work together.
I agree. Absolutely. There's definitely
it's not why we work
supportive.
Together. We work together because there's money.
Yeah, but I think. Yeah, I think that's
Sprocket Dog.
He's quite
You're
lovely.
lovely. Oh God.
It's not playtime.
Sorry.
For you.
Sorry.
How about you? I can't click my finger.
Because Dom's thumb is still
sore.
Yeah, dude, you did it a number.
I did a hell of a number. Good boy. Come on in.
Yeah, like there was extra syllables in that word that didn't need to be there. You did it a number.
That's how I talk. So often. Yeah, so I get done this time every year I always go, oh, cool, Franco Bali's got another course I can buy.
Yeah, right.
That I can't play.
When did Black Friday become a thing in Australia?
I would assume...
Yeah, Franco Bali's a nut.
I would assume internet. Once we've all got access to a global information superhighway, then there's no borders with the internet at the
There's
moment.
actually no borders.
So,
speaking of the BFG,
if I like somebody's...
Is there still borders online?
Yeah, I think there is.
I'm sorry, borders, if anyone's listening. Turns out you do still exist.
I think there is still borders.
Not for long though. Amazon, they're going to come and ruin everything.
I loved borders. It was my favourite shop.
Yeah. When there was the physical store, it was great.
Yeah.
Just used to
Speaking of Amazon, has it opened in Australia yet? It's imminent, isn't it?
I just touched something. Just be careful I didn't ruin everything.
It looks like it's still working.
Okay. I don't know. Has it actually opened yet? Yeah. Every day is day one, apparently. That's what I've learned.
Every day is day one.
Yeah. That's their slogan.
Oh, is it really?
In their warehouse. Yeah. I noticed yesterday in the news there was already stories about the miserable working conditions and people being forced to work 55-hour weeks with no breaks and getting into trouble if they weren't always doing something and people having nervous breakdowns and everything. It's like, oh, for God's sake, come on.
Okay, yeah.
Why does everything have to be everything's a story, Dom.
Everything's a story. Yeah.
Like stuff that doesn't need to be. Hey, I watched Have You Been Paying Attention last night?
Which is...
Tom Gleisner hosts 5 Australian comics. Ed Cavalier, Kitty Flanagan, Sam Pang, that sort of thing were on last night. And they had... So I don't watch commercial TV, but I just happened to be watching it last night.
What channel is it?
Channel 10.
Channel 10. And what's the show about?
It it was the finale for the year, so it was a recap of everything that had happened during the year. So it's Tom Gleisner asks questions, and the panel. I'm not convinced they haven't got pre-prepared answers. It's one of those things where there's like one or two funny answers, and then someone buzzes in with the right answer, kind of thing. Yeah. Point being, though, the main point being that they show news clips and TV ads, and so here's a bit of the thing. It's like when we play What Have You Sung For Me Lately, where they play a bit of the thing and then they stop and they say, what
was this about? Yeah, cool.
So they had Paulini on last night as a guest quizmaster.
Yes.
And when she came on,
she was on Australian Idol?
Was she Idol or Voice? Doesn't matter.
Anyway, she was on a singing show.
Yep, she was on a singing show.
She's an excellent singer.
She's an excellent singer.
Yep.
And then she's in the live stage show The Bodyguard.
Oh, cool. Yeah, right.
But she also got done recently for trying to bribe somebody. It was weird. It was a weird thing, like in the fisheries department. Someone she knew in the fisheries department bribed him, gave him $895 so she could buy a full driver's license.
Is that all it costs?
I don't know. Anyway, but she got into massive trouble for it.
Yeah.
So they roasted her over it when she came on to be this quizmaster.
Yeah.
They showed a clip of that 96-year-old guy accidentally crashing his car over an embankment into a shop front and said, "This is Paulina arriving tonight." And but I noticed in the news today it got featured.
Okay.
Now I saw it unfold.
Yeah.
And she did at one point say, "That's so not cool," but she was laughing along. Now, even if she was kind of covering up with the laughing along, the way the article's written was you just read it, you read the letters and the exclamation mark, and it's very much, if you hadn't heard it, it would have been her saying, "That's so not cool." Not what happened. Not what happened at all.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't have to be something. Sometimes things are just things.
Yeah.
Ursula Carlson is a female comic. Mm-hmm. She was on there. The thing that I noticed hasn't been reported in the news today is I'm absolutely sure she dropped the C-bomb very quietly at the end of one of her answers.
Yeah, well, I'm glad.
What?
That it wasn't reported.
I just think it's really funny because I was sitting with a couple of friends of mine and it's like, did she just... Yeah, I think she did. Really funny.
Is she a well-known comic?
She's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's not the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, because I
Sam really likes her.
Okay, I'd
never heard of her before.
Yeah, me neither. And that's certainly not a disparaging comment of whether she's a good comic or not. It's just I'm useless. I live in this little bubble. I don't know who anyone is.
No. You've heard of Sam Pang though?
Yeah, he's funny.
He is funny.
Yeah, he's good.
Really dry.
I may have even seen this show maybe at my brother's or my mum's place. Do they sit couple like three in a row? Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, and he is, from what I remember, he was the standout.
Yeah, I mean they have different people all the time.
Yeah, okay.
Tony Martin is just excellent always.
Yeah, he's very bright. It's
and I'm a big Ed Catterley fan. I'm a big rap for him.
Do you think... Oh, here you go. I feel like there are lots of shows these days that are built around having comics commenting on things.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's a bit of a...
Jobs for the boys, kind of?
Well, not so much that, but like a bit of a cheap TV thing.
I do, 100%.
So it's... I mean, because it's funny, because they're often funny, and occasionally they do say something... The thing, for me, why I like comedy, and the comedy that I do like, is that it's... great comedy is usually quite a sharp appraisal of the absurdity of society.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I find that the TV shows that I've seen where comics are on panels and things like that are usually more about a cheap laugh than a sharp appraisal. That's not to say...
I think that's certainly true of commercial TV.
Okay.
Like, I used to watch Sean McAuliffe's show on the ABC and it was hilarious. And then he went, and we're probably going back 10 years now, and then he went to one of the other stations, he might have gone to Channel 9, and it just got so kind of watered down.
Yeah.
And then stick a few ad breaks in it and you lose the flow and it just nowhere near as funny. And it didn't work.
Yeah. It's why I like that show. What's that? What's the one with Walid Ali? Whatever that
Project.
The Project. See, occasionally I watch that, and I just think, there's a couple of really bright people on this show, right? Yes. Who really can't do this job properly because everything that they want to comment about because there's so many commercial sponsors, there's banks and things like that. You go, well, if you actually want to make a comment about
Absolutely, mate.
why people can't afford to buy a house, you got to stop. Like, you've actually got to talk about why banks are lending money at 3%. So if you want to make houses exorbitantly expensive in an economy, you lend money for free, because that's basically what it is, and then you assess people's ability to borrow money on their income, but not their income at a high interest rate and their income at a low interest rate. That's what makes house prices go up far more than the things that they report on. But they don't report on that, because then it's a comment on the banks who are clearly advertising the ad breaks. I remember watching one just going, right, the reason you didn't mention that and that in this scathing comment on why people can't do this is because
Not your best side, Sprocket.
there are 4 car companies like advertising in this ad break.
Of course.
Like, so, you know, so you're right about the commercial television aspect thing, and that's one of the reasons why I don't generally watch commercial TVs, because the thing that you're watching, the actual program, is usually extremely at odds with what's getting advertised in between. And I find that really interesting.
Yeah, and it's why there's a few YouTube guys, YouTube kind of political commentators and satirists that I listen to. Friendly Geordies, I don't know if you've heard of him. Ah, so great. Yeah, okay. So great. You know, I mean, he does some super dumb stuff as well, you know, just even that is kind of parodying society, but he's a huge advocate for social welfare and for the reasons why we find ourselves in such a ridiculous position as far as house prices and all that sort of stuff. He's really switched on. He's only young, but he's starting to do touring shows as well.
Oh, cool.
So, so I'd love to go and see him sometime.
We should get him on.
And there's also the thing with those sorts of panel shows, I notice, is there's shameless cross-promotion of other shows. Like, they had 2 of the hosts of Gogglebox on.
Right.
And Sam Pang again.
Is that the one where they film people watching television?
Yeah.
Right.
Which I've never watched.
No, but which actually as a premise sounds really entertaining.
Well, yeah.
But also awful.
I mean, like I said, I've never watched it. But it's in its 3rd season, I think. Maybe even more.
Yeah, okay.
Just remarkable.
The idea it could be a season just suggests how contrived it must be.
Say that again?
Well, it's not just random people getting filmed watching television. It seems particularly contrived.
Of course.
And
all of those reality shows, it's cast. Yeah. I mean, they want, you know, I mean, the guys they had on last night were a gay couple, two men.
Yeah.
So it's clearly, they've got their cast of characters, and they've got the bogans, and they've got, you know.
Yeah.
But Sam Pang buzzed in immediately and said, "So it's the final show of 2017, and we've got 2 of the hosts of 2 of the viewers of Gogglebox. Am I to assume that we've blown our budget for the year?"
Very good.
Really funny. Speaking of 2017, can you believe we get to talk about which one is our favourite Spice Girl all over again?
What do you mean?
They're reforming again.
I was going to say, were they ever not a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Only Victoria won't get involved.
So they're not reforming.
No, well, it's, you know.
So it's the Backstreet Boys.
It's the Spic Girls. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that. You know what I meant? It was Spice with one of the letters gone.
Very good.
Sorry, it was the Pice Girls. Is that better? No.
Spy Girls?
No, well, that's 2 of them gone.
No, it's not.
That's banana.
SPIE.
Yeah, that's banana. That you can.
Oh, careful.
I was helping friends of mine move house today, but one of my jobs was, as soon as I got there,
eat the bananas or smear them all over yourself.
The kid
Give me banana guy.
Out, so.
Yeah. Cool.
And so I gave him some banana. He was reaching. He wanted the banana, but of course, once he got it in his hand, he just sort of looked at it and then went.
This sounds like an interesting university social experiment from the 1960s. The child wanted the banana. We brought in the singer to see if the singer would influence the child's enjoyment of the banana.
What's it doing, Sprocket?
Yeah.
What's it talking about? Who was your favourite Spice Girl?
Ginger, of course.
Me too.
Do you know why?
Why?
Because of the Spice Girls movie, and she had probably the best line in cinematic history.
Oh, God. Go on.
I can't remember the exact scene. I do remember the scene. I think it was the tour manager and or their manager or someone else. So is it Richard E. Grant was?
Yes.
Yeah, was he their manager?
Yeah, he was.
Right. So anyway, he's having an argument with someone else. I don't remember the other person. But she comes up in the middle of them and she says, "Come on, guys, haven't you heard of the word compromisation?" And they both look at each other like, as in the acknowledgement of how, no, we haven't heard of that word because it isn't a word.
Good.
And it's really funny. It's still really funny to me.
My goddaughter Rebecca back in Adelaide was distraught when they broke up. Well, no, sorry, when Jerry left.
Yeah,
I
right.
was like, "Why are you so sad?" And she said, "Because she was the one that made them spicy."
Oh, she said that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, Ginger was always my favourite. And then she had a solo career, and then she wasn't so much my favourite anymore.
No.
When she did that cover of Maniac. No, not Maniac, the other one. Raining Men.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know. Here's what it is. It was a good video.
That's what
She
made me
could
think of
dance.
Maniac.
Yeah.
No, she had a body double for a lot of it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, man. What's
Sorry,
wrong?
dude.
Oh, well. It's all right. My illusions shattered again.
No. Anyway, Posh
And
won't
my
get involved.
illusions shattered again. Clearly.
I don't get it. Why would... I know she's got a fashion empire and she designed bits of a Range Rover and all that sort of stuff, but...
Why wouldn't she want to go on tour?
Well, I don't know what a tour would
Okay.
would have involved. I mean, what, 3 shows at the O2? They wouldn't have to tour. Reform.
is that all?
Well, I don't know. I'm
Okay.
speculating. I don't even
Yeah.
know what it was. But they wouldn't need to tour. They'd get a huge amount of money for doing a small handful of gigs, and she wouldn't be in
know
the
what?
position she's in if she hadn't had the Spice Girls 30 years ago.
Sure. That's true.
just
But,
suck it up
no
and
one would
do
be in the
it.
position they're in if they hadn't had their other position. I'm not trying to be specious there. I'm just, maybe she's just gone, you know what, I don't want to go through this again, because basically the whole time I was in Spice Girls, I just got told how I was the talentless one who couldn't sing, and I just got berated for it. And then the feedback will be, "Oh, isn't Mel C such a great singer?" Well, comparatively to the rest, and don't we love the spicy one? And then why is Victoria Beckham just awkwardly standing on stage like a baby giraffe who can't sing? I mean,
Okay.
she's had that. That's not so much,
that's-
but that's the appraisal that she gets. She's like, I don't need to put myself in a situation where, my age, I'm going to be judged by what I wore on stage in a band. Where
Yeah.
I get judged when I go out to the fashion show, but that's a space for it. I don't know. Maybe
It's
it's
just
just
for the spice for it.
it's true.
Space Girls.
I mean, it could be other things, but
No, that's not bad.
I imagine
All right.
it gets to the point where you go. I mean, almost the point like what was someone saying to me the other day recently about Neil Diamond, about he's had so much plastic surgery you can't. You don't know if he's doing any expression whatsoever when he's singing anymore.
Sure.
And I said, but can he still sing? It's like, well, yeah, he's really good. I'm like,
Yeah, so what does
isn't
it
that
matter?
the fucking point?
Yeah.
Like the guy's had a 50-year career and can still bash it out on stage for 3 hours. It doesn't matter what his face holds up.
Why
Like,
was he in a movie called The Jazz Singer?
wasn't he the character? Wasn't it based on?
Yeah, but he's
his-
not a jazz singer in it. At all.
I don't
I never
know.
understood that.
I barely remember watching the film.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
right. Okay.
But it was a story of a kind of a Jewish boy kind of rebelling against the path that he was supposed to be on, and he wanted to be a musician instead
Yeah.
of a rabbi or something like that.
Yeah. I have no son. I don't know if that's in that film, but it should be.
I watched a wonderful film recently, and I recommend everyone watching it. It's brilliant. It's called The Big Sick.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I saw it a month or so ago.
Every one of the cast members, I mean, there's only really 4 of them in it, but they're just great. Just great. The comedy's hilarious. It's a Bo Burnham. He's in it. He's a comedian, but he's
I don't know for the people, Sprocket. That's right. You are a lovely dog.
It's not that bit. It's when he puts his foot down.
Yeah.
And he's got bad leg. That was really good. So if you're listening to this and you want to see a wonderful film,
Sit down.
I would recommend that. Have I seen anything
Good
else?
boy.
Don't know if I have.
Good boy.
I've just watched lots of
there
guitar
you go.
stuff this week.
That's a boy. There. You watched lots of guitar stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
He's not in the shot enough. I'm going to have to move the camera. Because it's Sprocket Cast.
Oh, g'day.
Oh, look. That's my car. And in this light, it looks almost clean. That's not true.
Oh, you can stay lying down. It's all right. Go on. Lie down. Good boy.
So I'm enjoying this on location stuff.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've got the weather for it currently. Not to.
Well, everywhere you go, mate,
There's weather.
you take the weather with you.
Oh well. I like that phrase and the song.
Yeah.
There's something serious happening in that.
Hedge.
Well, so right across the canal, there is a very high hedge, which makes me think that whoever lives in that house has got something to hide because no one else has got a high hedge. And because there's an argument happening behind the noise of a vacuum cleaner, I imagine some serious shit goes down in that house.
Do you think they're just shouting over the noise of the vacuum cleaner?
It's just my imagination.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Do you want to go on over and have a look?
Oh, we'll just shout back at them.
Swim over and have a look. They won't be able to hear us over the vacuum cleaner. I can't shout. I've got no voice, dude. I've got some voice.
That's why we got your microphone.
Man, oh man. Last week was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty spent by the time we finished our gig on Sunday.
Oh no, you were very croaky. But well done to both of us for getting through another week of life. I mean, gigs.
Oh, dude.
Just sometimes, like, do you ever... Is your cat usually on your bed at the end of the day when you get home, you get into bed and you've got to kind of go and have a conversation about, you know, can you just move over?
No, she doesn't. She, unless I'm away from home, she doesn't actually sleep on my bed when I'm not there.
Right.
As in, if I'm away.
So she waits till you get
Touring or
home.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
She actually hasn't slept, because she sleeps in my bed with me. She hasn't slept in my bed with me since I got back. And she also gives me a wide berth when I'm sick.
Right.
So I think actually she has come to the understanding that I've been sick ever since I got back. And she comes to visit me, but then I cough and she goes away.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, no.
Maybe that.
It's all right,
She doesn't
dude.
like the noise.
Don't give me any. I know she hates that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she hates a lot of stuff. She's a cat.
Yeah.
I mean, she hates her drumsticks being touched.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Drumsticks are the back legs?
This bit.
Yeah.
Where she gets matted fur because she's a long-haired galoot.
If you've been watching this on video as opposed to just listening to this, you'll notice that the first 25 minutes Sprocket was hanging out with me and I was just constantly patting him, and it's way more about me than patting my dog. Like you know, he's just so nice to pat.
He is. He's mostly made of wool.
Yeah, he's lovely. And I definitely was if you believe in past lives type thing, I was definitely a dog.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love my tummy being rubbed. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you say you
Oh,
don't
lie
like
down.
don't
Oh, come
like
on.
your drumsticks being touched. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't like being tickled, but I
you
like
hate
to be
being
patted. I like to just have a hand on me or something.
Really?
Like that. Yeah. I'm
How have I not known this?
yeah. It's the same thing. Like we've already spoken about my obsession with the feel of things. So, you know, if there's 3 coffee shops in a row, I'll check out which one has my desired takeaway coffee cup. So, or I'll even, you know, the little glass ones with the little ridges in them. Yeah, if it's got those and but it doesn't have a coffee cup I like, I'll stay. I'll have a quick coffee in it.
Oh, okay.
It's whatever I'm touching, I like to make sure.
Yeah. Whatever I'm touching, I like to make sure. Yeah. They're words to live by.
Yeah,
I'm the
true.
same, dude.
That's why I like popcorn.
What?
Yeah, this is how strange I am.
This is getting weird.
So I will, in the cinema, I will get a bucket of popcorn thing, and
Yes.
I'll definitely get a big one, even though I only
Definitely.
want a small one, so I can rest my hand on the popcorn.
Don't.
Yeah,
What?
because I like the tech.
Really?
Yeah. I go to the cinema every day just to do that. Yeah, I just buy a bucket of popcorn every day. Yeah,
Dude, next time we're on location, if you want your tummy rubbed,
thanks.
it's fine.
We'll hire someone in.
61%
I think
of the
budget-
population said yes, so it's fine. I'm prepared to defend our decision.
Yeah. Have we spoken about that?
No, we haven't.
Oh, do you want to? Do we need to? I don't think we need to. I think we both probably got what we wanted out of it.
Yeah, I had a few words to say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it currently still?
No, I'd said what I needed to say.
Okay.
I vented my spleen on social media about it. And I didn't do it, I did do it on my own page. But I initially did it, a gay friend of mine in Queensland was obviously excited and happy about what should have been a completely obvious thing. Anyway, but then made the observation, I think, the next day that, you know, a 61% positive response is still 39% that isn't. Is that right? Is that the correct maths?
Well, that's yeah.
Which, you know, I think is kind of sad.
Yeah, that's an interesting one because not supporting marriage equality doesn't necessarily mean.
Don't jump. Don't jump. You got a bad leg.
I make this comment on an observation of people who might, you know, object to religious reasons and all that kind of stuff, in relation to their everyday life, their community, all that kind of stuff. I don't think it necessarily does express hatred and homophobia. I think it can, for some people, they will have definitely made a decision about, very specifically about marriage, not whether or not, you know, people should be allowed to be gay or anything like that. But it's very hard to make a comment about without having a specific conversation with specific people, because obviously it's.
I was surprised when I only sort of randomly chose maybe 20 or 30 political seats to see the breakdown of how people came back with their votes, and I certainly wasn't surprised to see that of the people that voted no, the overwhelming majority were 65 plus years old.
Okay.
But I was really surprised how few people still decided to even send their forms back in the under 25 category.
Yep.
Absolutely flummoxed by that.
Yeah. That probably speaks to just how just how insular young people, not all young people, but many young people are, and just how they're not particularly engaged with whatever processes are going on outside their own four walls. Yeah, or their own social group.
Yep.
There will be a lot of people of that age group who don't have any experience with anyone getting married yet. Let alone anyone that might be in their friendship group, or, you know, if they've gone off to university or something like that, who, you know, are in same-sex relationships. They're just not exposed to it. I think that comes a little bit later in life for a lot of people.
I guess so.
So it's not on their radar.
You know, and I obviously, even from what you're supposing there, have an unrealistic expectation that young people are just more accepting in general, and would think it was a no-brainer that marriage equality should be a thing, that it's just simply a human rights issue and nothing else.
Yep.
So of course we'll vote yes for this. Fuck, what do I care? Yeah. So.
The whole what do I care is an interesting one, because I think it's definitely a thing about I do care. Like, you know, it's.
Well, what do I care is
before.
Obviously the people who didn't write back.
Yeah. It's. I think it's really, of all the, you know, you were just talking about the demographic breakdowns in different electorates, but what was interesting to me is the ones that where the majority voted no, and how interestingly many of those communities have a high percentage of immigrants.
Oh, right.
Who are particularly religious and Catholic.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting how that a lot of there is a certain demographic that moves to Australia from another country to enjoy the political freedoms that allows them.
Yep.
But then when it's a civil, just, you know, a decision about law, that there is a religious component to their thought process. That is really interesting to me. I'm not religious, so I don't follow a doctrine. So it's a very interesting conversation to have with someone who does follow a doctrine, because it's kind of they can't. And the whole conversation about religious provisions, it's like this is about law. It's not about your religion. It's about a civil union. So I don't really understand why we should have religious protections in place over it.
Do you know how your parents voted?
No. I have an idea, but I don't know. It's interesting. I was brought up very much like you don't ask people how much they get paid.
No, sure.
And you don't ask people about.
I agree.
And not just you don't ask people, you just don't tell people. Yeah. So I haven't. I'm
often surprised how many musos ask me how much I get paid.
Yeah, right. That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me. And the interesting thing about that is that there's a culture. There's the pay equality thing that seems to be there seems to be a belief in society that if you do a job and someone else does a job, you should get paid the same thing, which I disagree with. The idea that, because it's pretty much like if you do a solo gig and I do a solo gig, this is not the same gig. This is not the same level of entertainment. If you ask me, I mean, I think if Matt Bradshaw sings at a wedding, he should get paid more than if I get to sing at a wedding. And certainly, there are other people who it's an interesting one. I mean, basically, I find it interesting that musos want to know that because. But also, like, I'll go play places for way cheaper than other people will because I just want to go play with people I like playing with. And that's not to say that I'll play for nothing. But I know lots of times that people will call me and say, "Hey, do you want to come do this gig?" I'm like, "Yeah." And like, we haven't even told you how much it is. Like, I'm free and I like you. I'm coming to play.
Yeah, dude, 100%.
And he's just like, "Oh, thank God," because I tried blah blah blah, and he said he wouldn't leave the house for less than blah blah blah. And I said, "Great, fucking, you'd rather hang out with me anyway.
Yeah.
He wants to hang out with that jerk."
Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. And the luxury that you and I have now at this stage of our careers, in inverted commas, is we get to make those decisions. That the money is not the be all and end all of what we're doing. We actually do stuff because we want to.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say I would take a week off just for the sake of it.
Yeah, I mean, I have.
But I could.
Yeah, I have. I mean, I did with Airlie Beach.
And I had to when I had the flu 2 months ago, but that was different. That wasn't very much fun. That was incredibly frustrating. The idea that I would have a week off when I'm used to doing 6 to 9 gigs a week, but actually still couldn't do anything fun, just literally laid in bed and felt sorry for myself.
That's what the world has sick pay for.
Yeah.
But we don't.
Yeah.
But you also, like, you have to recognise, like, I should take... late last year, not late last year, mid last year, and I played through a week of being sick, and I paid for it for 2 months.
Dude, that's the thing, and that's why I took that time off last time, and I had no idea I was going to actually get as sick as I did. What I knew was I was getting a sore throat, and it was a pretty bad one, and I knew from experience that I sing through that stuff, and then I'm fucked for a month or two. But now I couldn't take another week off. When I got sick up in Airlie Beach on the Friday, which was Friday a week ago, I couldn't take another week off work. I just had a week off work down here, so I couldn't do it to all those venues because it's actually my job. Yeah. Like when you got a resident gig, the managers of those venues are actually understanding to let me have a week off to go and do another gig somewhere else. Yeah,
I agree. I agree with that. I mean, I think there's what the difference is. I think if you want 4 weeks off, you should definitely be able to have it. But to take a night off to go and do something else,
that's right.
That's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's different to, like, I mean, to go up to Airlie, it's like it's a working holiday. I mean, it's not, because you obviously fucking really have to. Yeah. But when you go up, you tend to, from my observation, you tend to kind of gig and maybe do a tenth of what you usually would during the day.
Oh, spot on.
Yeah. So you do have a little bit of a break. He's the best.
He's trying to get comfortable, that's all.
I love him.
He's getting bored as well. He was doing a little...
I know. I get what you mean with that.
So I don't take that stuff lightly. Like, I'm very thankful to the venues that don't give me a hard time. So, fucking hell, another holiday. Well, it's not a holiday. Yeah. Actually doing something else. Oh, right. So another night off to go and do it.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It was funny, actually. I had a conversation with a guy who did some repair work on one of my guitars. And he just flat out said to me, "Oh, well, you know what it's like. You drop gigs all the time, wouldn't you? Like to go and do a better paying gig with someone else." And I'm like,
Dude.
no. I've had a couple of things where I play in this band, and this gig's come up, and it's been a month, or the miscommunication of blah blah blah. It's not the Friday. We're actually playing on the Saturday, and then I'd be able to call someone and say,
You're on, mate.
"Can we get a fill in because this band I play in has a gig
Yeah.
but it's not about going to like dropping something and going, well, you know, I've got mouths to feed, and so I'm going to take the extra $150 to do this. I've never done that.
No, and it's funny, I was having a conversation with the DJ that I booked for a gig this Saturday, who was having exactly that. All right, front and centre animal. Ah, good boy. I know, you're getting bored. We'll finish up in a minute, I promise. Yeah, that it had exactly that scenario happen over and over recently, with it being that last week in November coming up to December, and just him getting calls for gigs because the person they had booked has pulled out because you know, the $300 gig they were doing at a club just all of a sudden became an $800 gig they were doing at a wedding.
Right.
At like a week's notice.
Yeah.
It's just not cool.
Last year I had a call.
You are
4 days out.
and large.
Someone did that to a wedding. You know, said, I got a $1,000 gig. Actually told the bride, I'm playing your wedding for $500. I got a $1,000 gig. I'm going to go do that. Like the week of the wedding. And she rang me, said, is there anything you can do to help? And so I organised a fill-in for my wedding gig, where I was playing in a band. It was just a guitar player in a band. It wasn't you know, Dom's been booked to sing at the wedding. I'm just playing guitar for that thing, just to help him out. Like I didn't get paid any more money to do it. Like it was this weekend too. Like I tried to organise something so I could get a fill-in for my other gig, because a friend of mine's called me like, "Are you available Saturday night?" It's like, "No, I've got a wedding." It's like, "Oh well, I won't be able." So she wouldn't have a gig. So what I tried to organise was that someone who doesn't currently have a gig gets to go play in the wedding band, so they get to earn some money, and then my other friend who's going to lose a gig if I can't go play with her. So that way, 2 extra people get paid.
Yeah.
I didn't make any more money. Actually, would have made $50 less, but it was more along the lines of, you know, you just try and.
Yeah.
This is really the only forum where I would really have conversation about. I feel like we're all in that industry to try and help each other out. Well, not all of us, but I feel like I'm in the industry, and it's like, well, $50 to me. Losing $50 in order to give 2 other people a gig, and really kind of, you know,
You fucking communist.
do the right thing. Yeah, well, I'm up for a socialist society for sure.
Yep.
I figure that's way better, and maybe I'd be looking at it from a selfish point of view. Maybe that means that in the next 10 gig offers, maybe I'm the second person that gets a call to say, "Hey, are you available?" because of the fact that I'm willing to organise stuff around around that. But
my experience has been that making those decisions actually doesn't positively affect me. I mean, it does within my heart and soul, but as far as ongoing decisions that other people make on my behalf, or calls that I get or anything, seldom makes a difference. But it doesn't make a difference to the way I approach the situation.
Yeah. I'm the same. Do you know what? I agree when it comes to guitarists. I've never, almost never got a recommendation from another guitarist, which is why when people ring me and say, "Do you know any guitarists?" I'm like, "No, not really." Because I don't know many.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we don't know much about the people we.
No, because I'm a guitarist, so usually I don't get to work with many very often. There's probably 4 guitar players that I would recommend, because they do what we've just been talking about. And other guys just like, no, you're just you're in it for yourself. But singers, I find
attitude.
my experience with singers is the opposite. Like the people who don't play an instrument, who need an accompanist, they're particularly appreciative of trying to help them out with that kind of stuff. And what's funny is when you do recommend someone. What do you find?
I don't know. He's standing on my leg to look at it.
He's seen children. He likes children. He thinks it's Billy or Lenny or Raph.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cute.
It's like,
You
is that
think
one
they're
that
your
I know?
Second cousins or
Yeah.
something. Is that what they are to him?
Yeah, I guess so. We call them like my brother and my sister's dog the Dozens because they're dog
Good.
cousins. It's a good word.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
You look very handsome there, Sprocket.
Yeah, he's a good-looking boy.
Hello. He's like so focused.
What's on for the rest of the day?
I'm going to go put this up on the internet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
You're a good
then
man.
practice my Franco Barlow
Yes.
sweep picking pentatonic.
Good.
Things that I can't play.
Good.
Because I don't have another gig till Thursday.
Okay, well, that's only 2 days away.
Yeah, so I'm kind of weekending a little bit.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'm looking for a job too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Teaching.
yeah, I think
I'm
so.
going to put that degree to use.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think I want to. I maybe I'm going through the stage where I'm like, oh, I'm learning how to play guitar. I could probably teach this.
See?
Yeah. And enjoy it too. Like it's like, oh, this is cool. It's. I mean, I know it's like 1 in 20 kids gets excited about learning how to play guitar too, but that's my past teaching experience. But
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm going home to learn how to use new software to automate my agency.
oh, cool,
Yeah.
great.
It's pretty exciting looking stuff. My brain is not very clever with things like that sometimes, so it could take me a little while to work it out.
Yeah, I'm the same thing with computer recording software.
Oh, really?
Yeah, useless. Yeah, people don't get this computer thing. It's just 2 microphones. There's nothing complex about this. All I have to learn how to do is press stop and then export, and then it goes on the internet.
As discussed on the last episode, if you've got any feedback, just keep it to yourselves.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that. I said send it to Dom.
If you've got any pets you want to feature in the podcast,
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah, try and make them smaller than Sprocket, because I barely exist in this frame at the
It's
moment.
just your sunglasses and your toes in the video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, should we go now, Sprock? Should we go to the beach, or do you want to go and see Lily? Lily is I mean, you would know this.
Yeah, little Ian.
Little Ian is my sister's 18-month-old daughter, and they have a dog called Pepper, so every dog's called Pepper.
That's cute.
Pepper.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's
And
funny.
she's like, Pepper, no. Pepper,
Oh.
no. She's
Okay, so she gets
just
it.
says no all the time to
Right.
everything. Yeah.
Oh, I
She's
thought.
very headstrong. It's like, can I give you a cuddle? No.
Right.
I'm not sure she knows what no means, but yeah. All right,
Okay.
let's go.
Thanks
to
for tuning
our
in.
Equal opposite parts of the world.
Equal opposite parts. Yeah.
All right. Podcast at trcduo.com.
Yep.
Yep. And Matt at trcduo.com.
Yep. And Sprocket at trcduo.com.
Oh, we should get him an email address. Actually, we should get you an Instagram account.
Why don't you have an Instagram account for him?
Well-
My friend Brian, I said they had to get an Instagram account for their cat,
Yeah.
Ian.
Yeah. Little Ian?
No, Ian Kitten.
Oh.
In fact, Ian Kitton.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And so, they got him one. It's brilliant. There's heaps of slow motion videos of him. He fetches. He's a cat who
No.
fetches. And he
That's
did it of his own
clever.
volition. They didn't teach him. I think they just
He's trying to tell them something.
screwed up a receipt or something and threw it and missed the bin. And he went and picked it up and brought it
so
back.
It has a cat accountant.
A accountant.
I was trying to do something that couldn't make it work.
Mine didn't really work
Yeah.
either. All right.
Yeah. All right. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye, Sprocket's ass.
Sprocket's ass.
Yeah, well, that's the bit I'm seeing.
Fair enough.